This video is going to show how to apply for a restoration plus a T13 LMIA-exempt work permit using your provincial nomination. I'm just creating this video because when I did my application, it was difficult getting resources online on how to apply. And I did see like two videos, but they weren't really talking about the restoration aspect or the T13 LMI exempt aspect, which is based off of the PMP nomination. So I'm hoping that this video helps anyone in the same situation and they're able to com- to complete the application by themselves and get their work permit and restoration approved. So for this, you have to go to your IRCC account, scroll down on your profile page, and then you see the start an application, click on apply to come to Canada. You scroll down and click on visitor visa study and or work permit. So this will take you to a page with like questionnaires, and this questionnaire is going to determine the type, determine your document checklist. So the first questionnaire is, what would do you like to do in Canada? Of course, you like to work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Please choose temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. I'm going to select NGA because I'm from Nigeria. What is your current country or territory of residence? I'm going to select Canada. I believe this is the only option for you if you're applying for a restoration. Do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years or older? I'm going to choose no because I do not have. If you do have, please choose yes. What is your date of birth? I'm just going to use a random date. And then click on next. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid US citizenship and immigration services number? No, I'm not. If you are, please click yes. What is your current immigration status in Canada? So I used worker, and I believe that's the only option available. There's no option like order. So you just have to choose worker. That was your last immigration status. Choose worker because we do not have any other options. And if you choose, yeah, choose worker. Click on next. So for this part, you just have to read through properly to make sure that nothing applies to you. This does not apply to me, so I clicked no. This does not apply to me, so I clicked no. Are you a spouse, common law partner, or dependent child of a person who is blah, blah, blah? I clicked no. Are you a spouse, common law partner of an accredited diplomat, consular officer, official representative of another country? Does not apply to me, so no. Then next. Are you a spouse or common law partner of a person who holds a study permit? No. Next. Have you been told by an Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada office that you're approved in principle for permanent residence in Canada? No. Have you submitted a permanent resident application in Canada? Right now, I have submitted an application, but when I applied, I went for my restoration first before applying for my PR, so I chose no. So yes, I'm just going to answer the document checklist as I did. I'm just going to answer the questionnaire as I did when I applied. So I chose no. Do you have a written job offer? Yes, I do have an offer. So next. What is your marital status? Never married, just single. What is your province, your territory of destination? Always Ontario for me. Please choose your province. Next. So this brings us to the options. Please know that based off of what you answered in the questionnaire, this is what you get. And for the questionnaire, bit of difference in what I choose and what you have to choose because of your own situation. So if maybe you choose married, it might bring up another question for you. I would not know. So just try as much as possible to be focused when doing the questionnaire. Read through the questions properly and then answer as applicable. So I'm going to choose work permit here and then continue. So are you accompanying a family member who has a status in Canada? I'm going to choose no. Next. When does your status in Canada expire? Please put the dates you received the work permit extension refusal or any refusal that pushed you out of status. Put the exact date. If you received it April 15, put April 15 as your expiration date. So I'm just going to use a random date here, but still within the 90 days restoration. 2026, let's use March. And let's use the end of March. So next. So this is going to let you know that your status has expired and you have to pay the restoration fee. So you need to click yes for this part. And then next. Which option best describes your work situation? So for the provisional nominee certificate orders, you have two options here actually, and it is always confusing for people to actually decide on what to pick. You have the I am a provisional nominee certificate order. I am applying for an employer specific work permit with LMIA exemption. Your answer should always be I am a provincial nominee certificate holder. If you pick this other option, the document checklist generated would not include a section for you to upload your nomination certificate or your work permit support letter. And it's always easier to forget if you don't upload this. I've seen some people pick this option and still get their work permit, but it's just quite tricky and you can only do the restoration once, so you really do not want to mess it up. So, as always, I would advise that you pick the I am a provincial nominee certificate holder. Then, next. Have you had a medical exam performed by an RCC panel physician within the last 12 months? I chose no because the last medical I had was the one I came in to Canada with. So, no. If you have, please choose yes. A medical exam is needed before you submit your application for foreign nationals, blah, blah, blah. I don't fit into this category, so no. Next. Do you want to work in one of the following jobs? I chose no. So I believe if you've not had a medical done since you came into Canada, because of the 5-year rule, please still attach a copy of your IME if you're in healthcare or like you work in any of these occupations listed below. Please include a copy of your IME documents in your application just to like save your time or help you. I don't really know how that works, but please, like, people have done it and like their work permit has come out without a clause to it or a restriction to it. So just include it. Like you don't lose anything doing that. So we're moving on to click next. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? No. Next. Are you giving someone access to your application? No. Next. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints and photo for an application to come to Canada? Yes. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees or are you fee exempt? I'm not fee exempt, so yes, I'll be paying my fees. Next. Are you able to make digital copies of your documents with a scanner or camera? Yes. Will you be paying for your application fees online? Yes. Next. So this brings us to the end of the questionnaires. You just have to review your answers. If you find anything wrong, you can always use the modify icon to change your answers. Click on the pen icon here, and then you should be good to go. So once that is done, scroll through, check that everything is correct, and click on continue. So read through this. I don't think I've really read through this, to be honest, but just read through it and click on continue. So this will take you to the part where your document checklist is generated. And yeah, this is what you should see for this is what you should see for a T13 LMIA exempt work permit application. If you, like I said, if you're married, you may or may not see like extra or additional documents. But for like a single applicant, this is exactly what it should look like. For someone married, you probably would see like sections for you to include like a proof of marriage or something in that line. But for a single applicant, this is exactly what should be displayed on your portal. So I'm going to create a second video to talk about how I completed the IMM 5710 form. And I don't want to make this video too long, so it's easy to look at and understand. But I'll just briefly talk about what I included in these sections. So for the offer of employment, I included a copy. I included a copy of my LMIA exempt number. So my employer took a screenshot of the employer portal showing my name and the LMIA exempt number. I also included a receipt of payment for the $230 compliance fee. I also attached my reference letter detailing my job duties, how long I've been employed for, and all of that. So you can basically still use the same format in which your reference letter was when you submitted it to OIMP. That was exactly what I did. They just changed the date and gave me the same reference letter back. So yeah, and then the last thing I did was I included my offer letter, my employment letter. So in this offer of employment, I have a screenshot of the employer portal showing my name and the LMIA exempt number. I have the receipt of payment for the compliance fee. I have a reference letter detailing my job duties, date of hire, benefits, and all of that. And lastly, I have my offer letter. So for the provision nominee program certificates, for this section, when you read like the question mark, it shows that you can only they only require the nomination certificate, but like I was doing this on my own and I was too anxious, so I included the nomination certificate and the nomination approval letter. So I just merged both the nomination certificate and then the nomination approval letter, starting first with the nomination certificate, and then I included both here. Letter of support letter from province or territory. I am from Ontario, so Ontario gives a work permit support letter for 2 years, and that is exactly what I put here. If you do not have one from your province, you do need to request one before submitting this application. Passport, I included a copy of my data page for my for my passport, and every stamp, every visa that I have on the passport, I just meshed it into one file, and then I uploaded it to this section. And digital photo, we all know the specifications for TRV. If you don't know, please go on IRCC website to find the correct specification, and yeah, I uploaded that here. Prove that you meet the requirement of the job being offered. So for this section, what I did was, so this totally depends on your type of job. If you're like a nurse, you definitely know that your certificate of nursing in your province or whatever should go into this section. You should actually show proof that you're able to do this work. So for me, I uploaded my postgraduate certificate from Ontario with the transcript. I also uploaded my WES and my BSc certificate from my country, And lastly, I included my selfie results. So those were the documents that I uploaded here. For the optional documents section, you do not need to upload anything for the IMM 5802 section. You can just leave that as it is. For the IMM 5257, you do not need to upload anything there. But I looked at the form, it was pretty straightforward. It's like a simple form that I filled when during my study permit application process. So I just felt like, what was the harm in completing it and uploading it? So I did upload for mine, but like, you don't need to. I didn't upload it when I was doing like my postgraduate work permit application, but because I was pretty anxious this time around, and I did not want to, like, I didn't want to give anyone any excuse to refuse my application, I just completed the IMM 5257 and uploaded that. So for the client information section, I uploaded my letter of explanation detailing why I remained in Canada after the refusal, because I applied 2 weeks after my refusal. So I just said, oh, I was waiting for this and that, and I detailed why I was in Canada, and I also like let them know that I stopped working like immediately, and I put two pay slips, second to the last and the last pay slips, just to show the difference between my pay slips and to actually prove that stopped working, like I stopped working immediately. So that's what I had in my client information section. And then you can see the fees attached to it. So when you upload all of this, you just review your documents properly and then click, and then you can submit. So yeah, so that brings us to the end of part one. I hope that anyone who sees this video and who needs this video finds it very helpful.